Yeah, guys, so we've got another session with the statics bar. I've changed the setup around a bit because it's slightly better for the camera, but it's still a work in progress as you'll see later in the video. But yeah, I'm just warming up here and we'll get into the set soon. For the topic today, I kind of wanted to talk about things within our control and not allowing those things that are outside of our control to have too much of an effect on us. Right. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I am extremely susceptible to this on quite a regular basis. It's one of those lessons that I have to keep learning over and over again to actually make progress on. But I think it's a matter of acknowledgement rather than perfection. Like, you're never going to be perfect in this sense. You're never going to immediately stop focusing on things that you shouldn't focus on and then never focus on them again. Like, we're creatures of habit. Brains have thought processes that have, well, we have like thousands and thousands of thoughts a day, right? And once you're in a way of thinking, it is very hard to exit that way of thinking. It takes a lot of activation energy to change it, right? So the main ones for me is like politics and your life circumstances and how other people affect it. Um, Sports as well. I'm a massive sports fan, and obviously you can't really have you don't have any control over it, but you still get invested in it, especially when it's part of like your culture, of your family and friends also get invested in it. It's quite easy to replicate their behaviors, their thought patterns. It's just how we work, right? So the power really is in acknowledging it and having a bit of a system in place for when you realize you're doing it too much, and kind of having no-go zones in terms of um, like consumption, especially on the internet, on social media. There's so much, and I think you've just got to say this topic. I'm going to avoid it. Like, if I see it, I'm going to scroll past it because at the end of the day, I don't have the control over it. That is the best way of going about it. I think the more, especially when it's something you care about, the more you focus on it, the more invested you get. Then when you see it again, the harder it is to scroll past because you're like up to date with everything. Whereas if you're not up to date with everything all the time, it's very easy to stay out of it. But that won't last forever. So yeah, I think it's one of those things where we are all struggling with, but the people that are doing the best with are the ones that acknowledge it the most and kind of uh, understand the consequences of it. Because I think we've all had a period where we've been deep in a rabbit hole of, and in a low key, like a depression of the same things over and over again. But that's not a good way to live your life. That's not going to get you anywhere. That's not going to help you focus on your actual goals and helping you become a better person. So yeah, I say let's do that instead. Let's get jacked. Let's work on ourselves financially. Let's build something we actually care about. And then, after we've done all of that, maybe we can give back to the community, to where we live, to the people around us, and stop grasping on things that aren't in our control and hoping to make a positive impact out of a place of selflessness. So, yeah, I think that kind of summarizes my opinions on this topic. I don't want to go too in depth. There's not much point going specific with examples, but yeah. So back to the session. This a very positive session, to be honest. Like, here I'm doing like these false grip holds. My elbows were absolutely destroyed by these, like in a good way. Like, the tendon development, what it felt like anyway, was insane. So I'm gonna definitely do more of these. I'm sure you'll see more of these in the future. The front lever, I think that's actually the best front lever tuck I've ever held at the very start. Um, that was like the furthest out I've actually been in a front lever in terms of like how my the angle of my arms. That's like the shortest angle, if that makes sense. So yeah, very positive. But the only thing is, I do fatigue very fast with front lever. I guess that's a work in progress, but yeah. My inverted hang as well, as you might have saw in my previous video, I was able to hold it for a few seconds, but now I'm like attempting to do an inverted pull up, like where my body is vertical and my legs are straight up in the air, and then doing a pull up that way. I think I've got that in the next few sessions. I'll be able to get a couple of reps of that. That's progressing fast. And yeah, this is the funny part. So I'm outside recording. It's a windy day, and I've got my tripod set up. And this is where there's a gust of wind, as you're about to see, and my phone rest in peace, essentially. Like, I had it so it was facing towards me, like the back of my phone was facing towards me. So the like front screen smashed on the concrete floor, just like that. It was pretty devastating. So it smashed my screen, but it's been a long time coming. I don't really wear a case on it, so that's kind of my own fault. But yeah, pull-ups felt pretty good, considering I just done all of them pull-ups and hangs and stuff and muscle-up work. Feeling very good. I'm kind of messing up the camera angle here, but thought I would do a little hold at the top. My back is looking really good right now. I'm very happy with like my leanness of my back and my waist as well. I thought my waist was a lot bigger than it is. But yeah, it looks pretty good from the back. Pretty happy. Just some one arm hangs here. To finish off, we have got another set of pull ups, but with slower eccentric. Try and incorporate these occasionally. I think that's the number one thing that's slept on by most people that are doing like pull up training is they just go for reps. They just want to get the most amount of reps, but occasionally a few eccentrics is going to be really good for your just the health of your muscle and ensuring that you're not just flopping around essentially and making sure you have control on that eccentric is pretty vital to how the muscle works. So yeah, that sums it up, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.